Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Welcome to another update for my pan those eyeshadows. So we are in the last round, if you will, of pan those eyeshadows. I've been doing pan those eyeshadows for a while now on this channel, and I have been using the spreadsheet that Makeup with Laney made. I have her linked down below, as well as the spreadsheet that she made. And there's 100 prompts on that list, and I tried to hit a pan for every prompt that was in the list. And last month we rolled in the final prompts. Here we have my cat joining me once again. She loves to be with mommy. So last month we rolled in the last few prompts. I think we rolled in 2 shadows, I'm not really sure even. But I'm working on 5 of this at this moment, and we're gonna check them out. Have we made it to the end? What is also standing right there? Okay, yeah, that's a bag of clothes that I need to donate. Okay, let's not look at that. Let's go look at eyeshadows. So I'm gonna start with the shadow that has been in the longest and work my way up. So the one that's been in the longest is for the prompt least favorite shadow from your favorite palette, and I have my favorite palette right here. This is the Makeup Beauty Shop Peacock Feathers palette. This is currently my favorite palette of all time, and I chose the shade Payon out of this palette because it's a really weird, I don't know how to call this, brown green. I honestly described it last times as pukey, baby vomit, murky green brown. That is the shade. So as of last month, I used the shade 7 times. I used it 3 more times, and here it is today. So you can see I managed to hit pan. So total of 10 uses, and this palette is looking very well loved. Also had an accident with this shadow and that one, but they're not my favorites, so that's okay. I dug the back of a brush into it on accident on 2 separate occasions. But yeah, like I said, not my favorite shades. That one actually turned out to be pretty nice. I combined it with the yellows, and that way it actually worked really nicely. It's like a neutral, but it just looks a little weird in the pan, but honestly on the eyes it's fine. So that is the first one rolling out. Then we have one that I switched up. So this was for the prompt Blue Shadow Shimmer. I was working on a Glam Shop single that was a blue, but it was a bluey green and I did not like it. So I had that in for 2 months, I believe. Barely touched it, and I decided to switch it up. So I picked a blue shimmer from my Glamlight 𝓮𝓵𝓮𝓮 palette. Now this one I swatched it was more of like a purpley shadow, but in the pan it looks blue, so we just went for it. And this is what the shadow looks like. So again, another pan. See, it does look blue in this pan, but once you wear it, it's more of a purple. I used that 5 times and then I hit pan. I did a couple of looks with this. I think I can find a screenshot of a look that I did and I filmed with. I didn't hate this shadow, actually. I was ready to have a hard time using it, but I actually really enjoyed it. So I put the look up that I did, and I did that look a couple of times, and I was able to hit pan in this shadow. So it wasn't all too bad. Very happy that I switched this one out for that Glam Shop one, because I would not have been able to hit pan in the Glam Shop one, and I was easily able to hit pan in this one, which I'm very happy about. And again, another pan in a palette. Very nice. Then we hit the prompt randomly generated. So I randomly generated a shadow out of every shadow in my collection, and it landed on a shadow from my Beauty Bay Bright palette, and it was the shade Shock. And Shock is a very, very bright pink. I don't know if you can see any usage on this. I've currently used it 3 times. I can see a slight dip, but it's not the biggest dip. I think it will take a while to hit pan on this, like a couple more uses, but it's fine. I have it in my outer corner today. I do like to pair it with yellows and oranges because that's just what I like. That's what I did today. But pairing it with that blue that I just showed you from 𝓮𝓼 also really worked nicely. So I put that down on my inner corner as a base and then put that shadow over top, and it worked really nicely. I think that's what I did in the look that I hopefully showed you just now with those screenshots. It is nice. It does kind of stain, so when I take this off at night, my lids are kind of stained. It's not too noticeable, and I've been using it in my outer corner mostly, and I will put a darker shade on my outer corner the next day just to cover it up, so it's fine. So that one is staying in. And then the last shadow we rolled in was for something you want to pan, and I rolled in a Mica Beauty Shop single because those are gorgeous. This is the shade 𝓵𝓲𝓹𝓼, and I mentioned 𝓵𝓲𝓹𝓼, the cartoon character, last time, but it is the French translation for cotton candy, or like candy floss. Apparently, I don't know, I had 5 years of French in high school and didn't really learn a whole lot, but that's besides the point. This is what my eyeshadow looks like today. And again, we have a shiny, shiny pan. This was a stunning shadow. It is a yellow to pink to gold green kind of flip. I think I tried to show it in the last update and sort of succeeded, so I'm not gonna waste time trying to do that again. You're gonna have to believe me, it's an amazing shadow and I loved working on it, and I had to use it 6 times in order to hit pan. So that means we are left with 1 shadow and 0 prompts left to work on. So what do I do now? I have been thinking about this all morning before I had to film this, because I was like, I'm gonna have to need a plan, and I don't have a plan as of right now. So I've been thinking either I do random generating and pick my shadows that way, but I've done that in the very, very, very beginning of pan those eyeshadows and it hadn't really been working for me. So I think maybe, what about randomizing a palette and then picking a shadow? Or randomizing a palette and trying to hit as many pans as I can in a month? I don't know. Would that be okay? I'm just gonna see if I have all my palettes in a wheel. Okay, yeah, so all my Colourpop palettes are in here and I completely pulled those apart, so that's not really an option, so I'm gonna block those ones out. I don't know, let's just, this one has all pans, so that wouldn't be an option. I think this is all the options. Okay, let's just randomize a palette and see what happens. Beauty Bay Love Notes. Okay, I was gonna say that's perfect, but also I kind of want to work on that for my project Level Up without spoiling too much. Or do I just roll it in? Oh my gosh, this is difficult. This is very difficult. I don't know if I want to do like 4 separate palettes. That's kind of my thing, because if I have too much out at once, I know I will not work on it. It'll be too overwhelming. Maybe, let's see what's in this palette since it's out already. Maybe I'll just work on this palette and try to hit as many pans as I can. Would you guys be okay with that? So here is what the palette looks like currently. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pans. 7, the white has a pan as well. Don't know if you can see that. There we go. So I have 7 pans out of the 16. You know what? Maybe I'll just roll this in and try to hit as many pans as I can in a month. I don't know, would that be pan-loads eyeshadows? Is that more of like project level up? But also not really, because I wouldn't have to use the shadows that already have pan. I don't know, let's just do that. I'm gonna roll this palette in. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 options to hit pan. So we have the blues, a green shimmer, a shimmer orange, some browns, this matte purple, and then this shimmery pink. And then this one is obviously still in the project. So let's see how many pans I can hit in this palette in a month. And then after a month, I'll report back and see how we continue this project, because I do really like pan those eyeshadows, but the random aspect of it with just all my shadows, I don't really like the idea of that. So I'm going to be working on this palette and all of the shadows that are in here, try and hit some pans. Who knows how many I can hit? Maybe I can just hit one. I don't even know. We shall see. And then that will be all for this update. If you have any thoughts or suggestions for this project on how I should continue, please let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.